Hi, everyone. Welcome to Pete's Epic Golf Podcast. Join golfer Pete as he interviews international and local golf experts and enthusiasts. Golfer Pete's guests are looking to share how his audience can improve their golf game by improving their mindset, skill set, and gear set. We ask our experts to share their practical tips on golf in one or more of these three core areas. Golfer Pete created his podcast as a resource for anyone who loves golf. Join Golfer Pete as he asks the questions we all need answers to in order to improve our golf game.
Okay, I want to welcome everybody to our foursome today. We are East Coast to West Coast. So we have a dynamic foursome today. We got some Floridians here and we got some people from California. So I'm Pete Kane and we're on the Pete Kane, we're on a podcast. So I want to welcome everybody here and thank you so much for being here, everybody. So I'm going to go first. We always goes ladies first. So Sylvie, would you please introduce yourself? Tell us like a little bit about yourself and who you serve and what you do so the listeners can understand.
Yeah, hi everybody. So I'm a master coach. So I educate my client to empower them on taking care of their health, doing some self-care using the best technology out there that I know. I also help them to be more performant in the sports and activity that they have. So that's my personal training kind of gig. But I also teach accredited course for brand like Power Play, Trigger Point, Precore, to just name a few. And it's a B2B then service that I provide to facility that have staff that need education and credit education to keep their certification active. So I work with a lot of country club because they have staff on board on the golf side as well as the fitness center side. So I try to educate them on the tool that they have on their floor to be able to be knowledgeable and use them with their client. This is kind of what I'm doing.
Awesome. Thank you, Sylvie. Appreciate that. And you brought a friend of yours, Chris, with us. So Chris, would you introduce yourself and give us a little background so people can understand where you're coming from?
Sure. Hi, my name is Chris Verna. I'm an athletic trainer here in the Boca Raton area. And I started as a baseball trainer and then I went into as a rotational flexibility specialist, and I went into golf. And like I was saying before to you, I had like the first power plate in the country. Really liked it. And at the time, nobody had any, so people would come to my place here in Boca to try it out. And then it just grew from there. But I do private personal training type things. I do more from an injury standpoint, recovery standpoint that way. If people come to me that are hurt or have a problem with their golf swing or their body, and then from there we go ahead and we'll either get them out of the problem and then get them on a program. And the power plate has been great for that. And plus, I used to work at a country club, an all men's country club. They had a power plate. It was the number one piece of equipment used.
I believe
The whole
it.
fitness
I
center.
believe it. I can't wait to get it in my country
Yeah.
club. Yes,
Yeah.
I totally believe that. Well, thank you, Chris. Thanks for being here. Bobby, I heard your name mentioned for 1 month when Jeff interviewed you. He goes, you gotta listen to this podcast on Bobby Aldridge. So Bobby, would you kind of introduce yourself and give us a little background and then we'll go to John.
Yeah, I'm Bobby Aldridge. I've been a strength and conditioning coach for about 30 years. When I first started, I got a certified strength and conditioning specialist, and I thought I was the smartest guy in the world. A year into it, that's what I knew. And then I started getting certification after certification, working with all these people. And after 30 years, I'm still learning. But over the last 10, I've come up with a way to help my clients, whether they're physical therapists, trainers, golf pros, with some equipment that they can use at home to get mobility, to improve their mobility and reduce their pain. And it goes across the board. It's complementary to whatever you're doing. Like the power plate, for example, I could drop it on the ground and I could teach a couple exercises and those people would do it perfectly by how you place them and want them to be. And so it just simplifies it for everyone. And like I said, I came up with this to try to make it easier for my clients. I didn't start it as a business, wasn't even thinking about the money at the time. And as it's gone, it's really gotten some great results. I mean, I had a couple people, the doctor for the San Francisco Giants, his wife came over to see me. She had back pain for 9 months. And her third week, she went out and shot the lowest round of golf she's ever shot. The following day, she shot a lower round. And so her husband had to come over and meet me the next week to say, hey, what are you doing with her? And it's a story after story after story like that. So yeah, I just like sharing it and making people feel better. And mobility is the key to feeling better. So
Awesome. Thank you, Bobby. John, all right. So you were his number one favorite person to invite. So let's hear a little about.
No, I'm John Grund. I'm a PGA professional. I've been a golf professional for a long time. I think it was like 1981 or so when I turned pro. I played full time for about 10 years, kind of like a AAA baseball player. I'd get called up and they'd send me back down. But I was able to play around the world a little bit and play in a few majors. Played college golf on a pretty good golf team in college at UCLA. Which led me to think that golf wasn't really my thing because I was like fifth man on that team, but turns out most of the guys in front of me have had a pretty successful career. But I played for a while, then I started a golf business, had that for about 25, 26, 7 years. And I always taught part-time, mostly with juniors, and sometimes with some of the guys and women that were playing professional golf would come see me. I have a tendency, I try to help people score more efficiently at golf. And now I coach at a college team here locally. I teach private lessons as well here in Marin at Peacock Gap. And as I've moved into a full-time teaching position, I have always stayed fit. I started out as a youngster as a football player and a baseball player, and realized pretty quickly that I had to make up for my lack of talent somewhere. And one was being better prepared and better fit. So I've always held fast to that over the years. Good players tend to play the back nine better, play the last round better, play tougher courses better, do things in the moment more efficiently than others. And I think that's a mind-body experience. And so meeting Bobby Aldridge is natural for me, something that's on that wavelength. And I'm trying to move more into that area, helping my students stay. And in Marin, a lot of my students, I should add, are older. Expensive as hell to live here, so the young people are staying away. So you might find that down in Boca a little bit. I don't know, but yeah. So they want to keep active, keep playing, and that's that's a transition as a teaching professional. I came from a torturous world of trying to score more efficiently, but the average person just wants to get out on the golf course, have some more mobility, enjoy their round, and that's kind of where I'm coming from these days. Although my college students, I teach a coach at a Division II school where academics are number one, golf is number two, but we're still pretty good at it. So I try to blend all of it together and kind of specialize in just helping people enjoy their round more. And to me, I like to shoot lower scores, so I think that's a big part of it.
That's a beautiful formula. That's why we play golf.
Yeah. And you're right, but some people just want to get out and have a good time too.
No, I get it. It's a recreational, wonderful sport.
Took the scorecard and put the numbers away and said happy face, sad face holes. It got a lot better. And the interesting thing about that allowed her to be more present, which is a big one. So she got rid of the score and started thinking about the moment, and that tends to be more effective.
Yeah, that's so important. Just be present, enjoy every shot. Sometimes more shot, other shots are not as popular. Now, this is a question I don't know the answer to. I'm going to start back with you, Sylvie. I've seen your swing on the videos. I don't even know what kind of golfer you're at or how often you play, but why don't you share with our viewers your favorite and your best course you've played and why and what you maybe shot?
So, honestly, I'm still young in the game, but you know, my ex-husband that is deceased now, but was a huge golfer. And his father is the president of a golf club in France, because, you know, I'm French, so was he. And so I discovered, you know, golfing because the family pressure, right? But
Yes.
also because I found myself teaching more and more in country club, right? So I wanted to understand the problematic of my clientele that was coming from those activity, like not only golf, but pickleball, tennis, everything that you practice in the country club, right?
Yeah.
And I really found out that there was a little bit of a dissociation between the golf aspect and then the training aspect, right? So I wanted to find a link for the golfer that are part of those prestigious country club to really find something that meant for them into the fitness center and could improve their games safely, and could also help them recover. Because some of my clients during the season, Chris can tell you, they play every day. You know, they have about 5 months of very intensive playing. And so I wanted to make sure, you know, that the staff and they're educated. But for me, my favorite golf time was at in Exuma. So Exuma has a beautiful golf course that is linked from the Four Seasons. It's attached to it. It's such a beautiful course that has, you know, 9 hole exposed to the water, very technical, and the other 9 hole are more like inland with a lot of the same thing, great terrain. And so it was one of my most memorable golfing there, because of that beautiful technical aspect to it. But the country club that I play, you know, also are fabulous. I mean, PGA National, right? I mean, in Florida, we're lucky we have so many amazing golf course. Ocean Reef, which, you know, in Key Largo, which I work with, and they have a beautiful course as well. So I think for me, it's Chris has been working on my swing. He has amazing technology that improve you dramatically fast and get you in the game. Because again, you're getting motivated when you got that you know, that shot that amaze yourself, and I'm like, it's getting me motivated and keeping me motivated. So I started about, you know, I would say 5-6 years ago. And then now I'm going to start playing much more actively as I can free some time. COVID has done that, right? I've been just traveling, going from conference to conference before. And now that those conferences, I have a hard time coming back, it's freeing a little bit on my calendar. So I plan on being on the golf course much more.
Awesome. I'm just going to say, is it fair to assume that you're spoiled?
I'm totally spoiled.
Yeah, because I mean, where you live and
Yes.
surrounded by all those beautiful courses, you're
Yes.
only making us envious, but that's okay. John, let's shift to you, John. I mean, Chris, excuse me. Chris, maybe your favorite course
He's
that you
spoiled
played?
as well.
Yeah.
He set you up.
It would be Pine Valley.
Ooh,
Pine Valley.
yeah.
It's just such a great atmosphere there. You're so, you know, you're playing in the elements, and it's just a great experience.
Awesome. That's, man, I hope to play that one day. So now let me go to John. John, you've got to have some good courses that you've played out there where you guys live.
You know, I always look, unfortunately, I mean, I would say my favorite course today is where 3 of my favorite buddies are playing with me, honestly. I was very fortunate in my life to play a lot of courses, mostly under competition situations, and that was a job. So it was a tee, it was a hole, it was a fairway, and that's the way I kind of looked at it. You know, the level of competition in different events might change the venues. I played some US Opens and stuff like that. And amateurs and majors around the world, but you know, probably San Gabriel Country Club where I grew up, and it's just where home is. You know, it's like I go back there, and you know, when I was 14 caddying there as a kid, it's just the best place to be. Honestly, it doesn't, I like certain courses around here, and there's a plethora of fantastic golf courses from Cypress Point to Olympic Club, which is not far away. They're great golf courses. But today I would have to view it that way. For me, it's just, I want to be able to enjoy around it. It's tough to enjoy. I mean, as I get older, that's why I work out, stay in shape.
Yep.
The numbers start dropping, the consistency goes away, especially when I teach. It's hard to keep the scoring aspect up as much as I'd like, but just getting out and enjoying a round of golf with my friends.
Awesome. Well, you surprised me. I thought you were going to say Pebble, but maybe we can give Bobby a chance to say something in that.
I've
Look,
actually
Bobby?
never played Pebble, but I'd say Spyglass. We played the back tees. First time I ever played it. I heard how hard the course was. I ended up shooting 77 with my buddies, and I felt like I shot 67. Like, I thought I played amazing. And I'm like, how did these guys shoot 67 when I thought I played amazing there to shoot 77? I'm like, damn, that's a whole nother level of game.
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah,
Awesome.
I've never played Pebble Beach, but Poppy Hill's down there. I like Carmel. I really like it down there.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate to play here, which is tough, Stone Tree in the
Okay.
bottom. It really challenges you enough that I can pretty much play anywhere, and it doesn't really matter how hard it is. I'll do decent because of here. So that's, yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's go to gear. I mean, what's your favorite piece of gear that you kind of go to or like or enjoy? And I know we got two people in here that have some gear that I'm familiar with, but Sylvie, would you share with us? Is there anything on top of your list?
This is right behind me, right?
Oh, yes.
I agree, I agree with Ron and Bobby. I mean, you need to have great mobility, right? I mean, you can't have, your muscle only are going to function properly if you have that great mobility in the joint, if you have the ability to have a good posture, if you can work on that with good shoulder and good hip complex, you pretty much are safe to prevent any type of injury. So I totally in tune with them. And it's a little bit difficult sometimes to get that messaging to a golfer that is rushing to to get his tee time and kind of allow those first hole to serve as a warm-up, right? I mean, we all have done it. And also having a good recovery game. This is something that people have been golfer all their life, and they don't understand that having a startup, good warm-up and good recovery will allow you to play every day or every other day with a much better performance. So at the end of the day, I agree. I'm using the vibration. It only takes me a few minutes to get those key areas warmed up, loosed up. And then at the end of my game, going on the power plate and doing those recovery minutes are big bang for my buck. Yeah, definitely.
I look forward to doing some recovery after my rounds of golf on the power plate. I do 3 9-minute sessions a day, morning, midday, and evening. And man, I love it. You couldn't tear that thing away from me if it was, I don't care what kind of check you would write. If it was the last one out there, you wouldn't get it from me. So yeah, thank you, Sylvie. So Chris, are you gonna say the same thing Sylvie says, or do you have something else?
He's got plenty of tools.
Okay.
The big thing is when I always do the power plate to start out to warm up.
Yeah.
I have some other equipment that I developed that I use to then go into the actual swing mechanics. And so I'll do the power plate to warm up, then I do my machine, and then I swing on my mat into a net, and then I go to the golf course.
Ooh, I like that.
And then I do that, and then when I'm done, I come back, I leave my clubs at my office, and I come back, and then I do my same cool down. I do the same routine to cool down. And the cool down allows me to come back the next day I can golf, as if I didn't golf the day before.
So are you saying like in that cool down and jumping on the plate, you recover faster and like you feeling like you can play back to back to back to back days with no
Exactly.
problem?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was thinking in my mind. I don't know. I mean, I've listened to a bunch of videos, but that's what I'm feeling like. I won't be sore or achy. I'll have better recovery. Okay. That makes sense. All right, John, how about you out there?
I don't have a power plate yet, so someday. But
What's that piece of equipment you go to? What do you like?
well, actually, if there's a piece of equipment before the round, I mean, there'd be three things: a floor, a wall, and the thing called a stretching stick that I use, a telescopic stick that I do sit about 6 or 7 little stretches with before I play. And then, you know, I do some stuff on the floor. I do some stuff on the wall, some stuff with Bobby that I'll use. And that's particular. And then the last thing for me really would be a good pair of golf shoes. I got to have my shoes got to feel right.
I don't think that you're exactly right. You don't want to shortchange your shoes because,
Go do something
yeah.
else. You know?
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, John. So, Bobby, how about yourself?
Well, I always start out with the wall windmills. So I'll use my mat. I'll do one block with my feet, 2 blocks, and I'm doing a side to side on the mirror because it's going to literally open up my chest, shoulders, my T-spine. It's going to get internal, external rotation in my hips, but it's pulling out the rotation in your body. So when guys can't play day to day, it just tells me they're twisted. So you have to untwist yourself every day to have mobility on both sides equally. So by starting with a wall windmill, like all my clients, they walk in, they go right to the wall, start their windmills. And I've had probably during COVID and all the times I worked with a bunch of major league pitchers. None of them have ever done a wall windmill. None of them have ever runner stretch. For me, it was mind-boggling that they've never even done these things. The way they do their push-ups and things, they couldn't do. I have a medicine ball push-up routine we do that strengthens your upper body and chest. And I do it 1 set before I take off. So I'll do my windmills, runner stretch, spread feet wide, and rotate specific for golf. But I know my distance based on my mat, how wide my feet are. So I know 42, 44, and then I'll go to the next thing. But it's measurable. So when I go out there, I know exactly how I feel. And if I need like, wow, 44 is tight today, then I'll foam roll. I'll do my whatever I need to foam roll to make myself feel better. And then I'll go to the next exercise. But when you do it consistently, you'll start to see, oh, wow, I'm ready to go today. So I have a lot of guys, like I'll go to the tee at 7 in the morning where it's freezing cold and I'll grab my club and tee off full swing first thing. And they'll go like, dude, how do you swing so hard on the first swing? Like, got to build it up because I did my mobility right here and I checked my numbers to go, I know exactly where I am. So what I was saying about the athletes is when we do these things, everything's measurable. And I had these pro athletes that would flip on their butt in 11 push-ups. I'll do 28, rest 90 seconds, 28, 90 seconds, 28, 90 seconds. And the last set, my son did 56. I've never had anyone touch it, anyone out there in the world. So the only one I think could do it would be like a rock climber or something like that. But it's mobility that gives you that strength to be able to do that. So to do that warm up first, and then when I come home, I'll do a couple of the stretches that we do that are more static and hold, just to relax and allow the body to fall into position. So tomorrow we can go play again and swing hard again, where your back doesn't bug you. So.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to getting more involved in hitting the ball further than 70 yards. Okay, Sylvie, now you're a golfing family, so this can be pertinent to you. What's the best golf advice you've ever received?
Oh, well, you know, in my case, because I'm athletic, I have a tendency to compensate the form, you know, and the skill for power, right? So I think for me, it was to really, you know, kind of tame that power that I want to unleash, that athleticism, and try to be more precise, right, with my body position. So the best advice at the beginning was my setup, right? My starting position. and sometime, you know, of course it become automatic for a pro and so on. But remember, for us, we're trying to develop those reflexes so the body has those pattern, those neurological pathway that are, you know, second nature, right? You don't anymore think about all that. And I'm not in that phase yet. So it was really to be able to, you know, release too much grip, not necessarily good, too much, you know, just that energy and taming that energy to be able to control better my position and posture. So that was some of the key elements, starting with a good position, a good starting position, and then breathe through those movements that are powerful movement but need to be so precise. So that would be the best advice that at the, you know, that I received. Remember,
That's
I'm
good.
training with Chris, so
Yeah, okay. Well, we're gonna go to him next. So we're gonna see, we get to get those secrets that he doesn't share with everybody. So Chris, what's the best advice you've ever received?
The best advice is that if you feel your body at setup, you're in the moment. And at any point that you're not at the ball, you're not behind the ball, ahead of the ball, you know, that you're at the moment. And then if you go away from that, anything can happen in your swing. So the whole idea was to stay in the moment, stay in the present, and allow yourself to swing there and not go to the past, not go to the last shot, not go to the shot ahead and all that. That was the best advice because I can make any change in the moment. I can't make it if I'm in the past or in the future.
Oh, that's good. You must have listened to Dr. Saul Miller. It meant I think it's called Winning Golf is the title. But yeah, he talks to that very thing about it's so important. You know, we have so much between our ears that gets manipulated or whatever. Okay, so John, I know you've got some good advice that somebody, or probably that you've learned. How can you share with our listeners the best advice?
Rose, I've had a couple mentors in my life. You know, from a golf standpoint, I've been very fortunate to have some, you know, kind of a seeker because I was, like I said, I was the guy that got called up and then sent back down. So I'm always wondering why everybody's kicking my butt. And but I will say that the changing point in my golf career came when I was playing at a smaller university and transferred into UCLA, just figuring I'd get a degree and then head out. And they had the #1 team in golf in the college golf, the preseason. So came the first tournament of the spring, and I was on the bubble to play in the first event on the first team. And I'm struggling coming down the stretch, and one of my mentors is a man named Eddie Marins. He's from Mississippi. I was a longtime professional at Bel Air Country Club, and I'd been taking lessons from him for several years, and he knew me pretty well. That's why he asked me to come over and play. And a couple of guys in front of me had longtime tour players. By that time, they were freshmen, and I was a senior. And pretty much the top 6 or 7 guys in that team were all Americans, which is kind of hard to do. But so I'm struggling. I'm losing ground. I'm leaking oil. I blow one up on the side of a hill, and Eddie had a way of saying things that was pretty interesting. And so he looked at me and he said, "Son," and he always spoke very slowly, maybe a bit of a Southern deal, but he looked at me and he goes, "Son, you are not going to be an All-American at UCLA if you continue to play like this." And now most guys would have taken that like, "What the hell are you saying to me?" But it resonated pretty quickly. Start walking the walk, talk the talk, be the be. Just start doing what you do. We got 20 guys in this team. You're already 5th man right now. You played 90 rounds of golf in the last 3 or 4 months or 5 months or whatever it is. You're beating all of them. And there's 3 guys behind you that were all Americans last year. What the hell are you doing? And so it was this moment of, I didn't really believe in myself, really. I didn't have enough confidence, really. But my activity showed that the numbers were there. I just didn't believe it. And the minute I switched that button on, I just started having more fun. You know, I just started doing what I normally do. And then the other one was just watching what a bunch of other guys did, which was they had a plan, they worked the plan, they got up, modified the plan, worked the plan again, and they had goals. Their daily activity matched their goals, and it was pretty straightforward.
Awesome.
That was
I know. Thank
It's maybe a little long-winded, but sorry.
No, I really appreciate that. And Chris has to go because he's got a lesson. I know Sylvie has to go too. But before you go, Sylvie, is there something that I might have missed that you want to share with our golfing friends out there that you would like to share before you leave?
Yeah, no, I just because whole body vibration is something that is not understood very well still now, even if it's been on the market for quite a long time. But I do believe that, whatever you are a member of a prestigious country club or and you have maybe access to this machine and you're wondering, just look for information. I want to, just send that message, which is look for the information, look for the science behind, and learn how it can be beneficial for you. PowerPlate has on their website, and they have a free app that has great information on how to use the product. So if into the country club, they don't have access to an educated trainer because sometimes the staff did not receive the course yet, it's always good to do that due diligence and look for, is it for me? How can it improve my game or my overall health? And then find the information. I know that you will have also my information available for people to reach out. I'm an educator. I don't sell products. So for me, I don't have involvement into selling the product or anything. For me, it's all about just having a toolbox that has enough, option to fit everybody's problematic, right? Because it's only one of the tool that I use. I've got other tool, but it's a major tool for me. So it's just, that's my message really. I do virtual all the time. That's why I'm right here in that setting. And those virtual are just free because I get paid by the brand, and they're free for the user to reach out, to schedule a session, ask their question, talk about their specific need. So that's the message I wanted to convey here. At the end of the day, you guys, we've got a lot of gimmick and a lot of different, technology out there, but this is your best tool, right? Your body is what you're going to need to invest in the most, and doing some self-care.
I agree with you, Sylvie, and as usual, you got me. I mean, I'm sold on because your philosophy is solid, and we'll put in the show notes all the links for our viewers to be able to get a hold of you, get acclimated to your training, and understand more about vibration therapy. So thank you, Sylvie. Thanks for
thank you
jumping
so much,
on.
you guys.
Appreciate
Thank you
that.
for having me.
Okay, well, you have a wonderful day, and we're gonna keep talking with John and Bobby. Okay, awesome. Okay, guys, so let me see. Did I miss anything that you'd like to share with our viewers, John? Is there something golf related that would be interesting for our viewers?
Well, I mean, I think part of the premise here is both Bobby and I are trying to help people play more golf, enjoy their golf.
Yep.
Hopefully play better golf. But really no buts about it. That's what we do. And if I would say, just start on a journey that if you want to get better at golf, look around you and quiet down the noise. Just quiet down the noise. Golf swing, I'm going to tell you, as crazy as it sounds, is not that complicated. Swinging a golf club is not very complicated. So if you're looking for an instructor, find somebody that explains it to you that's not complicated, makes it clear. And the basic fundamentals of grip, stance, posture, and alignment, I can't express as much, that's number one. Relating to your target is the most important thing you do in golf. The golf ball is not the target's the target. Wherever you're trying to land that ball or make that ball stop.
Ooh, that's good.
But to do all that, like Sylvie just said, we've got to have our bodies, working for us, not against us. And I think there's no loss in connecting that golf experience with that body experience and trying to meld the two to a more efficient way to allow you to enjoy living in your body and maybe playing golf more efficiently. So that's kind of where I try to help my students, using sources as Bobby to help people do that. And I've always done that on my own. I didn't really talk about it. Just players that were good, that were playing golf. Most of us did it on some level for a long time, but it's just become more of a common knowledge thing now, and our ability to quantify is so much greater than it used to be. But I would say to the golfers out there, slow down on all the numbers, on my club head speed. I used to hang out with guys that hit it really long. My forte was to hit it really short. I was good at hitting it short, but the guys that hit it long, I always ask them, why do you hit it far? And the number one thing they would tell me, what do you think that is? Hit it in the center of the club face.
You say that again?
Hit it in the center of the club face.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep.
That's first. So at what speed will your body allow you to hit it in the center of the club face?
Oh, I like that. I really like that.
From trying to do something that our mobility won't allow us to do, which is based on some intent, which is not in our ability, right? So it's usually, we've got this theory or something out there that gets us into some awkward things that we're doing with our body that our mobility or strength will not allow us to do. So find yourself a good trainer like Bobby. Try to find yourself an instructor that gives some plain and simple information to you about the golf swing, and make sure that it's intent oriented, meaning that if you ask a golf professional about his round, he's not going to tell you about what his shoulder did. He's not going to tell you about what his hip did. He's not going to tell you about what his knees did. He's going to tell you about what the club did working around his body, and the relationship of that club and that club face working around his body. So find an instructor that kind of goes down that path with you, that helps you understand the ballistics of a golf ball, why it goes where it goes, not because necessarily what my hip did. Now, I will say that when we have that intent, the body tends to work more effectively. And if it's not working effectively, then you need a Bobby. You need somebody to help you out. Now, I would say that 99% of everybody's not 100% effective. So now there's a fine line between being effective and highly effective. So find out what your capacity is. Do a mobility test with Bobby or somebody like that. Find out what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, and then work at it like tour pros do. And you can make your own plan, which is I've got a plan. I'm going to work on my body 2 or 3 days a week. I'm going to play 1 or 2 days a week. I'm going to divide segments up in my game into short game, iron game, mental game, tee shots. Find a pro that can help you with that sort of program as a coach, and then find a body coach and try to meld the two.
Awesome.
I know it's a mouthful, but it's possible. It's possible. It really is, and it's fun. It really is fun. It's like, it's funny. I've been very fortunate in my life, played very successful people in the business world, and I'm always amazed as they run these corporations or run their businesses. They don't run their golf game the same way.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't operate at a deficient all the time. You got to look at your different compartments of your game and figure out what's deficient, quantify what's deficient, and then move forward. But the idea of quantifying is deficient is where you need a good golf pro to define what the club's doing, and then work backwards, work from there. And then it could be a mental side too. Maybe you're just not approaching the game with a mental type approach that's really effective. That maybe matches your, people have different mental capacities. There's the way you work around a golf course or where you play. Does that match how you live the rest of your life? Do you try to be something different on the golf course? So those are a lot of fun things to work with in that area, but a good golf coach should be able to help you with some of those questions and help you enjoy that process. And again, it's a process.
Well, I really appreciate that, John. You know, what strikes me as you're talking, I mean, each one of the individuals on this show, and I'll get to you in just a second, Bobby, the body, we only get one. It's not like we can go buy a $500 driver or buy another body. I mean, we got it, we got to keep it, and we got to keep it in shape so we can play golf as long as we possibly can. And I love this show for one reason. We have the economics of taking care of your body. I've never seen anything more value driven than what you do, Bobby. I mean, in your system, the simplicity, I mean, I'm not going to say the science behind it, but I guess it is. I mean, it works. It works. And I understand it. I'm looking forward to getting more mobility in the left side, but we have two systems here. One are on the higher end, still takes care of the body, and one are on the end with a lot of value. I think you're the best kept secret I've ever seen, Bobby. So your system of how people can do something the rest of their life and be set as far as physically. So, but anyway, let's let me see my thought. Is there anything that I left out, Bobby, that you'd like to share with our viewers that
Just like you
would
said,
be helpful for them?
yeah, people go out every year or every two. So if I run a seminar, I'll ask everybody that's sitting there, how many of you have bought a new driver in the last 2 years? And almost everyone will raise their hand. So I go, what if I could get you to be as strong as Bryson DeChambeau and flexible and that? Do you think you'd hit your old driver further? And they get it. They go, yeah. So why don't we work on your mobility so you feel better and can crack that whip a little faster, right? By doing the mobility stuff. And then when I say, you guys probably don't know this, but about 2 years ago, a physics guy said, if you guys are trying to hit the ball really far, why do you take it back so slow? You should take it back faster. And we were like, huh? And he goes, yeah, if you take it back faster, you're going to come through faster. So how many of you out there have heard low and slow?
Yeah.
Yep. Now, if you're hitting an iron, you want to be more accurate. That's okay, because we're not going for 128 miles an hour swing speed, but it might be at 75 or 80, right? Nice and smooth and slow. But to hit your driver further, anyone listening to this right now, if you take it back faster, you will come through faster immediately. That goes for anyone. You can be swinging 75, you'll swing 80. Swinging 100, you go 104. It'll instantly change that swing speed. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense. That's like how we do Olympic lifting and how we do things to get more strength and speed and power quickness. So that's a great little tip that'll really help all of you off the start who are digging for that extra mile per hour. But like I said, if you don't have the mobility, if you don't have the balance, if you don't have the posture to do that, you're not going to really crack the whip the way you want. And if you do, you're probably compensating to get that speed, and all of a sudden your back hurts. So the better the athlete, the more they'll compensate. They can do it in all kinds of different ways. Jim Furyk, all the different guys that have these funky swings, but they do it their way, right?
Yep.
So, that's just one tip that'll really help everyone. But
That's awesome.
Share the mobility with your friends.
Hey, I literally learned quite a bit during this time together, because I think Florida, there's a lot of fitness related mindset. California, there seems to be. We're in the middle here. I don't know, Atlanta. I wouldn't say it's number one on our list at the country club that we got to keep our golfers fit, but it should be, because like we were talking about, you can't go out and buy a new body. You can buy a new driver, but the body is who we have, so we got to take care of it. So if you guys will hang around, I'd like to just ask a couple more questions, but I'm going to end the podcast now for our viewers and wrap it up. So I want to thank all our viewers for tuning in today with Bobby Aldridge. John, his good friend and pro, had so much good things to share with us, and Chris and Sylvie, who had to leave to go do other things. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. And if you'll just look in the show notes, you'll see all the links to information that you might be interested in by getting a little bit more education on the value of staying fit as you get a little older playing golf. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you too, guys. And again, I'll